WWE Bad Blood 2024 is in the books, ladies and gentlemen, and the next premium live event on the way is Crown Jewel, taking place in just under 4 weeks' time from now. So it's time to predict the match card. 5 matches, as we know, usually now for a Triple H PLE. We've got 2 matches that we kind of know already. We've got the WWE Champion versus the World Heavyweight Champion. We've got the Women's World Champion against the Women's Champion. Of course, that will be Raw versus SmackDown, which in one way is a very clever thing to do because of the fact that you are delaying some of your storylines to a further date. For example, the Survivor Series, if you want to drag things out even as far as WrestleMania, this is a clever way of basically delaying those stories. However, at the same time, you've kind of turned this show into a modern day Survivor Series of the late 2010s because of the fact that, well, it's Raw versus SmackDown, it's champion versus champion. I think some people will be excited about this. For me, I think it's okay. I think it's going to work well for the crowd that they go into in Saudi Arabia because they're going to have their own Crown Jewel Championship, and I think that's going to get that crowd invested. Although I think personally for me, I'm not overly excited necessarily about those championships, but I think the matches we could be getting certainly could be exciting. Now, one at the time of recording could be Cody Rhodes versus the Ring General Gunther. These two had fantastic chemistry when they were in the ring together in the 2023 Royal Rumble as the final two. For me, I've wanted to see a singles match with the two of them since then. This looks like it could be the destination we could get it. However, this is what makes this video a little bit extra special because you're going to hear me speculate on 2 different ways, because I think we're going to get championship matches between now and Crown Jewel, which means we could see some championships change hands. Now, obviously, Gunther is taking on Sami Zayn on Monday Night Raw at the time of recording. If we get Sami versus Cody, that could be pretty awesome. That would free up Gunther to take on Bill Goldberg, which would work as an attraction match for Crown Jewel after what happened at Bad Blood. However, I'm going to stick with Cody versus Gunther as the predicted match, as I think it is the bigger match to do at this particular time, and I think I'd be quite excited to see that. However, I do think that the Saudi crowd would be more into Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes and Goldberg versus Gunther, which of course could be fun as well. Walking away as the winner, I think I would have Cody Rhodes either way as my prediction at this point. Should Sami win the world title, maybe he would be the right selection, as I'm sure that would get a massive pop from the Saudi crowd. As for Gunther versus Goldberg, should that happen, I would go for Gunther to win. But my final prediction for the men's, though, it is going to be Cody versus Gunther, with Cody walking away as the victor. For the women's side right now, it is 2 heels, Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan. Is WWE actually going to go through with 2 heels against one another, or could Rhea win the world title from Liv Morgan on Raw? Could Tiffany cash in on Nia on SmackDown? It's going to be interesting to see what will happen either way at this point. I personally would like to see the cash-in delayed personally, because I like seeing Tiffany have a run with this Money in the Bank briefcase. I think the story is working out pretty well. I also would like to see this sort of take place closer to Royal Rumble season, so that Tiffany potentially could even walk into WrestleMania as the women's champion. But on the other side, Liv Morgan, I'm enjoying her run as champion. I'm not really ready for it to end at this particular time, especially now Raquel Rodriguez is by her side. However, if everyone is barred from ringside, I wouldn't be surprised if Rhea Ripley won the title between now and Crown Jewel, and we had Rhea versus Nia one more time. And if that did take place, I would have Rhea walking away out of Crown Jewel as the ultimate champion, if you will. Question for you in the comments below that at this stage. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. Does this harm a champion in WWE? Because obviously 2 champions against one another, one of them has to win and one of them has to lose. Does it damage the championships? Does it damage the champions? And is it too Survivor Series like, in your opinion? I'd like to know your thoughts to all of these now in the comments below. But let's move on to the rest of the card then, of what we can look and hopefully look forward to and expect. First, I'm going to go with Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. I think with The Rock returning at the end of Bad Blood, I think Brock is pretty much going to throw the question out, what's happened while I've been gone a little bit? Roman, you were the tribal chief. You were the head of the table. Now you've been away after losing the title at WrestleMania because you didn't get the job done that you should have done. And now you've seen what's happened. The whole family's in disarray. It's time for you to take order, and it's time for you to go one-on-one with Solo. So I think that a demand can be made here. I think Roman would want that match anyway to be declared the head of the table, of course, after all being the OTC. And I think with obviously Solo Sikoa as well, it's an interesting dynamic because Rock can be a crown jewel. That could obviously be a big selling point for the show as well. But it's technically right now Roman and Jimmy versus the 4 members of the Bloodline or new Bloodline with Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. So maybe in a weird way, Solo might get the job done. But if I had to predict early, I would go for a Roman victory, just purely because that I think The Rock is actually secretly leading this new Bloodline. And I think that when Solo is technically always the guy that's the fall guy, I think eventually Rock will kick Solo out and Solo will end up back in the OG Bloodline. So it really would be OG Bloodline versus new Bloodline headed by The Rock, the final boss. But that's further storytelling for further down the line. So we'll go with Roman versus Solo on this show. For the United States Championship, I'm going to go for LA Knight to go against Logan Paul. Logan Paul, of course, is that attraction superstar. He seems to do a lot of these Saudi shows, and of course, he would look to want to win that United States Championship back, the title he lost to LA Knight at SummerSlam. It makes simple sense to just do the rematch here, and I think LA Knight would walk away still as your United States champion. And last but not least, the Women's Tag Team Championships have not been on a premium live event for a little while, so I will say that we will get Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill going against Damage Control because they are the current #1 contenders. Io Sky and Kairi Sane works quite nicely, as well as Kairi Sane returned to the company at Crown Jewel last year, so it's great for that to put her on the show. I would go for Bianca and Jade though to retain those championships. I do think they will be keeping those now until the turn of the year at the earliest. And well, because I mentioned Sami Zayn one more time, he will have a match in some format here at Saudi, so I will say that it will be Sami Zayn and Jey Uso versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day for the World Tag Team Championships, because they've not been on a premium live event since WrestleMania, those tag team titles. It's about time they come back on. And of course, if Sami is not involved in the main title picture, he needs to be involved in some way. Even if this is a pre-show match, they could even do that, and that way we could get ourselves new tag team champions, for example Jay and Sami, because they did want to go for these tag team titles a few months ago, before Sami directed his attention to the World Heavyweight title and before Jey Uso put his attention towards the Intercontinental Championship, which he now currently holds. But of course, that's a little bonus match. Obviously, I've gone with the main 5. This is an extra match that I'm adding on just because I want to add a bit of spectacle to it. But let me know what matches you want to see at WWE Crown Jewel 2024. It's a bit tricky when you know there's some championship matches on the day of recording. You know, everything could be about to change, but at the same time, it could all stay the same. You'll know by watching this now how right or wrong I was after Monday Night Raw. But let me know your predictions in the comments below. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't seen it already, check this video out on the side of your screen right now. It is my Bad Blood 2024 review along with NXT Steve. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you for the next video.